Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, who says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ramazan is the month in which we sent down the Quran as a guide to mankind and clear signs of guidance and the criterion of right and wrong. So every one of you who is present during that month should spend it in fasting. But if anyone is sick or on a journey, then the prescribed period should be made up days later. Allah desires for you ease. He does not desire hardship for you. And He desires that you should complete the prescribed period and that you should glorify Allah for guiding you, and maybe you will be thankful. When my servants ask you, Ya Muhammad ﷺ, about me, truly I'm near them. I listen to the prayer of every asker who calls on me. So let them hear my call and let them trust in me so that they may walk in the right way. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. May peace and blessings be upon the perfect servant of Allah, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, who is saying, whoever reads a single salawat upon me will be blessed 10 times by Allah. And whoever reads 10 salawats upon me will be blessed 100 times by Allah. And Allah will also put an invisible engraving on that person's forehead, which will read, this slave is free from hypocrisy and the fire of hell. On Judgment Day, he will be with the martyrs. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. May peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet and upon his noble family and upon his blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar al-Faruq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. May peace and blessings be upon the masters of the most distinguished Nakshibendi order, the guides to the Siddiqui way. May peace and blessings be upon the sultans of the Ottoman Empire, the flag bearers of Haqq, and upon all those who follow and honor them until the last day. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, welcome to you. Congratulations to you. Mubarak to you on the first day of Ramazan. The Sultan of the 11 months has arrived. The comfort of the believers has arrived. The month of harvesting has arrived. We are making intention in this first day of Ramazan to be from those who show this month its proper respect, who fill its days with hizmat, who fill its nights with ibadat, who collect the pleasure of Allah, His Prophet, and the awliya during this month. Ameen. We are starting this month with a hope from Mawlana Jalaluddin Rumi, Qaddasallahu, who said, the month of Ramazan has come, O moon-faced friend. Tie up your bags and hit the highway to paradise. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah Rahman, we will start on this road altogether. This is a month that is celebrated in the heavens. And when the angels are overjoyed, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is extending His mercy to the Ummah Muhammad ﷺ, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, the fast belongs to me, and I provide its reward. When someone fasts, he is abstaining from his animal desire, his eating and his drinking for my sake. Fasting is a suit of armor. There are two occasions of joy, of happiness waiting for someone who fasts: at the moment of iftar and the joy at the moment of meeting his Lord. And he ﷺ is also saying, on each and every day of Ramazan, by the iftar time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will already have saved 1 million of His servants from hellfire, even if all of them had deserved hellfire. And when Jumma comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save 1 million of His servants from hellfire in every single hour, even if all of them had deserved hellfire. As for the last day of Ramazan, On that day, Allah will save a number equal to everyone who has been saved during the whole month. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the hellfire we have built for ourselves, and may we take our lives in a moment, and may He take our lives in a moment when we have reached to His pleasure. So this is a month of mercy. The believer must be awake and aware to protect himself from running away from Allah's mercy. These are very strange days that have come to the earth, that have come to the Bani Adam. These days, strange days, is more strange because we have forgotten our history that has been filled with the tests and the punishments of Allah. So it has become very, very strange for us. But for the believer who looks, who sees, who understands, who studies the history and remembers the punishment of Allah and the mercy of Allah, the tests of Allah, then he understands that we're living in a day that, although it is strange, but it has come before and we know how to behave. But now, the strangeness is because the Muslims, from leaders to followers, from top to bottom, they have forgotten their history. And they have come unprepared this Ramazan and these days to deal with this punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the masjids, which have been full for 1400 years, are now closed and empty. The Tarawih namaz, the legacy of Hazrat Umar, which lit up the night for the Ummah for 1400 years, it has been taken away from so many. The Jama'at that has been a characteristic of Ramazan has been exchanged for so many with loneliness. So something has changed. The Tajalli, the manifestation of this Ramazan, it has changed. It has changed because we have pulled this Tajalli to ourselves. Ramazan is Mubarak, but we in this Ummah, we have not treated it with blessings and with Mubarak, and we have not become the Mubarak ones to welcome the Ramazan properly. So it has changed when it comes to us. When something changes so suddenly and so violently, the intelligent man must be awake. Intelligent man is not going to take the signs of his Lord lightly. SahibulSaif, Shaykh Abdulkerim al-Kibrisi Rabbani, may Allah raise his station, is explaining the delicate nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, two realities, they are not changing. The lutuf of Allah. He is looking at his servants with rahmat and mercy, and the qahar of Allah that is vanishing, destroying. These two things are on everyone. Anyone who is looking for mercy and safety must run to that Prophet and must hold on to that Prophet. Otherwise, today you know that mankind is not even having mercy to their own children. How are they to have mercy to others, other nations, other tribes? How are they going to have mercy to the ones that they are fighting? How are they going to have mercy to the ones that they are hating? Impossible. Today we are looking in the East and West, and the majority of the people are thinking only me, me, me. Islam is saying you, first you, and later me. The other ways are saying first me. Mankind never has enough for his own ego. He's always wanting more and more and more, never for somebody else, but always looking at others too. What does that one have? It must be for me too. I must find the way to get it. They are pulling to that side, and if it's necessary, they go out of their way to kill for that. For what? For these material things, for this world. Mankind has lost. Lost because they left the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to us, and the way is Islam, which is shining. And the way to Islam is the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And the awliya Allah, they speak the truth. The awliya Allah, their speech is like the Quran and the Hadith for our time. So understand Shaykh Efendi's speech. What is he saying? as long as a person is following the way of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, as long as a person is thinking of others first, serving others, putting himself last, the tajalli of mercy comes to this world. When he is not a tyrant, when he doesn't pass his limits, even when he is right, then the tajalli of mercy comes to the world. But when a man thinks only of himself, when a man only sees to fit this whole world into his mouth, when a man loses his own mercy, when a man desires everything in the world for himself, not sharing with others and taking from the others, then the tajalli of qahar comes to the world. So what kind of man doesn't get the mercy of Allah? What kind of man pulls the revenge of Allah? The tyrant, the zalim. The zalim cannot receive Allah's mercy because he has set himself as a competition, as an idol, as an ilah with Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is one, He is ahad. He does not accept those who declare their existence in His presence. That is the nature of our ego, to be zalim, to declare its existence and to say it is the only thing that exists or deserves to exist. That ego that said, you are you and I am me, through fire and through cold, that ego is in us. And that ego was finally broken in the valley of hunger when it said, you are the Lord and I am just your servant. In Ramazan, we must break that tyrant ego within us. That ego is broken by hunger. But it is not just by hunger of eating and drinking. It is by hunger, starving the ego, pulling the ego back from doing what it wants to do. Cruelty in the world, this root is in the ego. Its root is individuals who have lost themselves and imagined themselves to be lords, and they become tyrants, who have given the power of themselves to their ego. And when every ego rules, the world doesn't have one Namrud, it has 7 billion Namruds. And when the ego rules, this world is not enough. And Nimrud doesn't know how to build anything but fire. And mankind, who is like Nimrud, has been busy building that fire to burn themselves for the past few decades. And they will burn in that fire unless we turn around and repent to our Lord. Ramazan comes for us to repent. Ramazan comes for us to run back to that mercy. Ramazan comes for us to say, La ilaha illa anta subhana in kuntu minaz zalimin. If we remain tyrant, then we will not find Allah's mercy. We will not find Rahmatan lil Alameen's mercy. And the awliya Allah, they have very harsh words for those who stay in the station of tyranny. Everyone is thinking, awliya, they are gentle and they love everything and they're nice with everything. No, they are not. They love Allah and they love His Prophet. And they hate everything that hates Allah and His Prophet. Everyone knows how to say, Madad ya Ghawsul Azam. But that Ghawsul Azam, his words, they were very harsh. It is very similar to our Shaykh's words. It is very similar to the wash-ups that he is giving us, that is cleaning ourselves. And Ghawsul Azam, he hit the ego very hard. Like our Shaykh, he was bombarding the ego. He's saying in his sohbat to those ones who keep the characteristics of zulm through Ramazan, he's saying, the angels give salams to all those who are worthy. Angels give salams to all those who are worthy, who are giving high respect to Ramazan, but they will not give that salam to those who are guilty of disobedience, because some of them are doing zulm, tyranny, and they do not deserve any salam from the angels. How heavy is the crime? How heavy is the crime of those who eat haram, who break families, who spread hateful gossip and slander, and those who eat the rights of orphans. Such people have no right to get salam from the angels, and they won't get any. What disaster is worse than this? How awful to live through a month of mercy, forgiveness, and freedom from hellfire, but find yourself shut out from sharing in the salams from the angels of the Lord of the sinners and the righteous. What made you like this? Was it because you have stayed so far from Ar-Rahman? Because you became a tool of tyranny? Because you became a willing helper of shaitan? And because you adopted the flashy lifestyle of those who walk on the path that leads to hellfire? O slave of your ego, of your desires, of your reactions, of your devil, of your dunya, you have no value in the sight of Allah and in the sight of His salihin. Disaster to you. What will you get from wagging your tongue without any work? You say you tell the truth, but you're a liar. You are guilty of shirk when you say you make tawhid. You are sick, but you believe. You are healthy. You have a fake stone, but you call it a jewel. My duty with you is to make you stop lying and teach you how to be honest. And the words of Ghawsul Azam speak the truth. The greatest helper, yes, because he came to break the egos. He came to help mankind, to break the egos and to bring man back to obedience. That is how mercy comes to us. Shaykh Efendi is saying, if it is not for the Prophet ﷺ, then no mercy is coming to us. Punishment will come down on us. The mercy has reached to us because of that Prophet. Today, mercy is reaching to us again because of those who hold on very tightly to the Prophet ﷺ and who show proper respect to that holy Prophet ﷺ. We cannot put our Shaykh aside and say, I reach to Prophet and I reach to Allah. You will not reach anywhere then, because mercy now is coming to you, to us, through our Shaykh. Allah's help is reaching to us through our Shaykh's hands. Oh believers, don't let go of that hand. So many are alone during this Ramazan. But alhamdulillah, tarikatuna suhbat wal khayri fil jamiyat. Our way is association, and the goodness is in the Jamaat. This way, the way of the Shaykhs, it must break the tyranny that is inside of us. But it will only start if you yourself believe that you have that tyranny inside. For those who think that they don't have tyranny inside, for those who think that they're already salihin, for those who think that they're already saints in this way, nothing is going to work. That way, the way of yourself, will only lead you to idolatry. You will start worshipping yourself. You'll start seeing yourself higher than anything, higher than your Shaykh. You may even be fooled to say that you are higher than the Prophet ﷺ. As so many people who deny the wasila of the Holy Prophet ﷺ today, they say it's only me and Allah. But our hope is to reach to Allah's mercy, to pull that tajalli of mercy, and that way we must conquer the tyrant that is inside of us and to become servants of Allah. That way, we must hold on tightly to the Shaykh who's going to train us. You cannot do this job by yourself. You cannot do this job of training your ego and pulling the tyrant out by reading books, by reciting like a parrot. You have to hold on to a friend of Allah and to a guide. Oh believers, this is Ramazan. Run more in the way of Allah. Make intention to struggle more in the way of Allah. And the struggle of a believer is beloved to Allah. Serve more in the way of Allah, and you will never regret any moment spent in Allah's way. Every moment spent for dunya, it will in the end benefit you with nothing. We're ending with Pir Sultan Abdulkerim Jilani's dua for Ramazan. And he's saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salam alayka, O month of fasting. Salam alayka, O month of nighttime prayers. Salam alayka, O month of Iman. Salam alayka, O month of the Quran. Salam alayka, O month of lights. Salam alayka, O month of forgiveness and pardon. Salam alayka, O month of the steps leading to paradise and safety from the steps leading to hell. Salam alayka, O month of the servants who make tawbah. Salam alayka, O month of the arifin. Salam alayka, O month of the mujtahids. Salam alayka, O month of security. you are a prison for disobedient sinners. And for the truly devout, you are a place of comfort. Peace be upon the lamps and lanterns that shine so bright. Peace be upon the sleepless eyes and upon the streaming tears. Peace be upon the mihrabs and upon the tears that fall from the eyes. Peace be upon the sighs that arise from the hearts aflame with passion. Ya Allah, count us from those whose fasting and prayers are accepted, and whose evil deeds you change into good deeds, and among those who you allow through your mercy to enter your paradise, and those whose stations you have raised. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Rabbi, bless our Shaykh, our means to reaching to the mercy of Rahmatul Lil Alamin, and don't separate us from his association in this life and in the next life. Ameen. Astaghfirullah, 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 lazim alazi, la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. La ilaha illa Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul qadir. La ilaha illa Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul qadir. La ilaha illa Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka min adh-dhalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka. Subhan qudus rabbina. Subhan qudus rabbina. Subhan qudus rabbina. Inna dina illa Allah al-Islam. Qam salat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.